Welcome back to Eye on Northwest Politics. Larry Miller is an American success story. He went from the mean streets of Philadelphia to the highest rungs of corporate America and American sport. He helped turn Michael Jordan into a marketing juggernaut with Nike. And in between doing that, he was president of the Portland Trail Blazers from 2007 to 2012. He's the author of My Secret Journey, From the Streets to the Boardroom, which he wrote with his daughter, Layla Lacey. Larry Miller, welcome to Eye on Northwest Politics.
Thank you, Ken. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
Are you still connected with Nike, and in which way?
Yeah, I'm currently I serve as the chairman of the advisory board for the Jordan brand. So still connected to Nike and still have an office there and still working with folks there at Nike and with the Jordan brand mainly.
Well, this is a political show, so I want to ask you a political question first. We saw Nike chairman Phil Knight pour millions of dollars into the gubernatorial campaign, not necessarily to the person who actually won, but being part of a Fortune 500 company, how important are political connections to a company like Nike?
Well, I think they're important, especially for a company like Nike that is involved in the community and wants to be involved in the community and try to do things to help the communities that we live and work in. So I think it is important for companies like Nike to be involved and to be aware of what's going on with the political situation, because I think, like I said, from Nike's involvement and wanting to help and give back to the community, politics plays a part of that.
You do have a governmental affairs arm of Nike. Are they involved in the kind of things that you're talking about here?
I'm sure they are. You know, for me, I don't get involved in
Sure.
the political stuff that often. But one of the things I do believe is that Nike has tended to be on the right side of most issues that have come up from a political perspective. Nike tends to be on the right side of those issues, and I think that's because the company gets good guidance and direction from the folks who work specifically on the political issues.
Sure. It's been about a year since Jump was published, and it made the New York Times bestseller list. What made you decide to, here's the book here, what made you decide to write this book, Jump?
Well, my oldest daughter for years worked on me and was like, Dad, you have a story that you should tell. That she said, her thing was it's motivated her and other members of the family. And she said, you need to share this story because it could motivate and inspire other people. And I Heisman'd her for a lot of years, and finally I agreed to do it. And I told her if I would do it, that her and I would have to work on it together, and we did.
One of the most shocking revelations in the book is that you had some gang affiliations in Philadelphia. You shot and killed another teenager when you were young. I think you were 16 at the time. Yes. His name was Edward White.
Yes.
That was 16. You spent more than 4 years in juvenile prison for that. Kept it a secret for decades. How did you manage to keep it a secret, and why did you decide to write about it in the book?
Well, from about the age of 12 up until 30, I was in and out of jail. I was involved in all kinds of criminal activities. And it was the last time that I was incarcerated. I got involved in a program where you could actually take college classes inside the jail, and then you could transfer to trailers that were outside the jail and go to school every day and have to be back in the evening. So I got into that program, got my associate's degree through that program, transferred to a halfway house, and started at Temple University, got my bachelor's degree from Temple, started working for Campbell Soup Company, and got my master's degree while I was there. But the reason for telling the story is really to help to show that people can change their lives, that you can, with the right opportunities, and if it starts inside of you, and if you have the right desire and the right opportunity to change, that you can change your life. I am a true example of the fact that you can redeem yourself and you can change your life if given the right opportunities.
Once this became public, have you reached out to Edward White's family?
Actually met with him, met with some of his family. It was an emotional meeting. My daughter and I met with them. And it was his sister, his son, and his daughter. And I started the meeting by sharing how sorry and how remorseful I am for what happened and what I did. And they then each spoke about how it impacted them. But at the end, each one of them said, "But I forgive you." And to me, that was the most important thing that could have come out of this whole process, was the fact that I was able to express my sorrow to Mr. White's family and to have them forgive me.
How did this affect your life as you climbed up the corporate ladder?
So for years, I hid from this story. I was afraid that it would come out and with every job change or every opportunity to move forward, I was always nervous that something would come out and that it would hurt what I was trying to accomplish. And fortunately, it never did, or at least I didn't know it did when it did come out. But for me, I had nightmares on a regular basis, migraines, because I was just having all this anxiety about keeping this story in and hoping that no one ever found out about it.
You left as president of Jordan Brand in 2007. You spent 5 years with the Portland Trail Blazers, then went back to Nike again as president of Jordan Brand. Why did you leave Jordan to go to the Blazers, and then why did you leave the Blazers to go back?
The reality is, the main reason that, an opportunity to run an NBA team, there are only 30 of those, and there's only one opportunity here in Portland to do that. So that was a motivating factor. But the other thing that was a motivating factor for me was that I thought it was an opportunity for young people that look like me to see someone that looks like them in a role like president of the Portland Trail Blazers. And maybe that could inspire some people and motivate some young people that, they could accomplish something of that magnitude. But that was really the main reason that I took the Trailblazers job. It was an amazing opportunity. I learned a lot. Met some incredible people and made some incredible connections. But it was, and then deciding to go back to Nike was kind of easy. They reached out and said, "Hey, we'd like for you to come back and run the Jordan Brand again." And that was kind of my baby. It was something I had helped give birth to. And so when I was asked to come back, I agreed to do it. And I still had a couple years left on my contract with the Trailblazers, but I think I made the right decision in going back to Nike and running the Jordan Brand.
We've got less than a minute left, but I just want to get your take on what you're proudest of in your career. You've had an illustrious career with a number of different corporations. What are you most proud of?
So, a lot of times people would think it's like the generating revenue and growing the brand, but it's really the opportunities that my jobs have given me to give back to our community. One of the things I'm proudest of is we have a scholarship program with the Jordan Brand. It's our Wings Scholarship Program, and we provide full free rides to kids from all over the country. And to me, that's one of the things that I'm most proud of, to see that we can actually impact and change lives. That's the thing that is really, I'm really proud of. Again, I'm proud of what we've done from a business perspective, but much more proud of what we've done to give back to the community.
Larry Miller, thank you for joining me on Eye on Northwest Politics.
Thank you for having me, Ken.